Hey, Phoebe.
Hey.
All right. So, what I've been doing with these is, I mean, this is just kind of for you to do whatever. If there's anything you've been wanting to do that you haven't had a chance because, we're in such a huge group, you can do that. Otherwise, I have a little something for you. And, this can be as quick or involved as you like.
Well.
Well.
I mean, how much time would I don't know, because I haven't seen the other vignettes because I don't want to, spoil anything for myself.
Yeah, so
I don't think you even posted them.
No, I haven't. I'm actually going to wait until we play our next session before I start releasing those. Because so far I've done one with Brett and Manny, and they both have secret things. So, Ooh. So basically this takes place that evening. So this is right after you grew the tree. And so we have that night basically to play with, because the next day you guys are going to take Miguel to see the witch. So we don't have a lot of time, but a lot can happen in an evening. And like I said, if there's nothing specifically you want to do, that's fine. I have a little something for you, and we can just do that. But if there is anything, then this is a good time. And kind of my thought with these is I'm open to doing these whenever. So anytime, if there's something you want to do with Bryn kind of by herself, or maybe with just one or two of the other players, you can just let me know, and we can just do these whenever people want to do them. So, yeah. So this isn't your only chance.
All right. Because I know you told me that, and I was thinking I don't know how much time we're gonna have, because I know we have to fight the witch, and I was thinking I could make potions, and I'm oh, that takes too long.
Oh yeah. How long does that take? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Probably a whole day or something.
Is brewing healing potions even in the player's handbook?
I think it might be something in Xanathar's guide.
I think it's in Xanathar's, yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah, I do.
I have a PDF.
Is that alchemy, or what is that even under?
I have an herbalism kit.
Oh, herbalism. Okay.
That I'm apparently proficient in, I guess. I don't know, I've never really used it before.
So this says it lets you find plants and identify poisons. That's pretty cool. Well, I don't see anything in here. Maybe it is in the player's guide.
Herbalism kit. Find plants, identify poison.
It might be in the down.
Well, see, I just remembered it most likely is, because...
Yeah, I think maybe there's a couple ways you can brew potions, because Danielle's character can too. I think she does it with...
Yeah, but she's an alchemist, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's doing it with alchemy.
What is the point? Oh, here we go. This kit contains blah, 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 blah. Proficiency with this kit lets you add your proficiency with any ability to identify or apply herbs. Also, proficiency with this kit is required to create antitoxin and potions of healing. And that is literally all it says about it.
All right, now I'll check the DMG. I'll bet it's in the with the downtime stuff.
I probably don't even have enough time. It takes a week to do.
Well, it'll be nice to know for later.
Market value greater than 5 GP. You make progress every day in 5 GP increments until you reach the market value of the item. What's the market value of a healing potion?
It's 50, but this says...
That would take me 10 days.
Yeah, well, this says with potions and scrolls, it's half that.
Oh, still take me 5 days. So, good to know, but not something I can do
Are you
now.
looking in the DMG or Xanathar's guide?
I'm looking in the player's handbook.
Oh, in the player's handbook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. They have different ways of doing it, but you get the same thing. Oh, okay. That's why it's different. So this is for, it looks like non-magical stuff. but it was basically the same. The DMG has for, you know what? Let me check, because I think Xanathar's guide don't they have a different crafting system?
I don't know. I can't say that I've read.
I think they do.
Like a crazy amount into Xanathar's.
Oh, they have a section just for brewing potions. Well, let's go there.
Perfect. Oh, time 1 day. We don't have a whole day though, so.
1 day. Okay. That must be what we did with Danielle, because I thought she did it in a day. Yeah, and it costs half what it would cost to buy. Yeah, this is what we did with Danielle. I remember now. So, I mean, you could do it, but you wouldn't get any sleep that night. Or
I
you
think
wouldn't get
sleeping
much
is a better idea.
Yeah, and actually, you guys have like some potions in the bag of holding. I wanted to remind. Yeah,
I have not looked in that thing. So.
Yeah, I wanted to remind you all next time, because there's quite a bit of stuff in the bag of holding that hasn't been claimed, and I'm afraid it's just going to sit there forever and never get used. Like, you guys have like some good healing potions, not just the basic ones, and like
I feel like people should have those,
right,
just so we can
on their character.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just fear grabbing it and running over to someone. Like, she's got other shit to do.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing, is if it's all in the bag of holding, like, no one really can use it during a combat or something, other than whoever's carrying the bag of holding.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I should bring that up.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know, maybe the forum or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, all right, so maybe we'll hold off on the potion, but I do want to, like, once we kind of resolve this thing with the witch, I do want to give you guys some downtime, because I think quite a few of you have things you want to do. So, like a few weeks or something, as soon as we get a chance. So what? Go ahead.
Consider it, but I could maybe talk to Anna, but that's all I can think of. So.
Okay. Well, I do have something for you, and we can do that, and then you can see if you want to do something else or not. How about that?
Sure.
So later that night, once you've done whatever it is that you do, maybe just watching the tree continue to grow. Which, by the way, awesome job with that plant growth spell. That was so cool.
Oh man, that was
That's the second time you've had like the perfect spell prepared. That and that Earthbind spell with the dragon.
Yeah, I didn't even know that Earthbind did that. I thought when I read Earthbind, I was like, oh, maybe the earth like grabs someone.
Right.
And can't move.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then during the I was like, oh no. And I was reading the spell and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
It was. Yeah, and I didn't even know about that spell. So when you did that, I was like, what? And the same thing with the plant growth. I didn't know about that spell. I was like, well, I guess she could just use Druidcraft and just use it over and over and over and over, like all day long, and that would work. But I was like, well, there might be some better Druid spell, but I didn't have time to look. And then you're like, I'll cast plant growth. And I started reading what it did. I'm like, holy crap, this is like the
cool
perfect spell.
It's only a third level.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And yeah, I gave you guys some XP for that, because that greatly accelerated things. Yeah, that was super cool.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Plus Dianara's rest, you're gonna have a great friggin' harvest. So you're welcome.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know, that makes me happy, because Druid is something that this is probably only the second Druid PC I've had in a game I ran, like, ever. And a lot of times people don't play them because their abilities, at least in previous editions, were like really niche, like that plant growth spell. Like,
they take some creativity.
Yeah. So a lot of times they don't really get a chance to shine. So I'm glad that you played one, and I'm glad that like you've had some opportunities to do cool Druid things.
Yeah,
that no one else can do.
I was originally skeptical about playing a Druid, because I was like, oh, this looks super complicated. Like you've got spells and you've got beast shapes.
Yeah.
I was like, and it has kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it is annoying to have to like try and look up every single thing. But I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would.
Good.
But my next character is definitely just going to be like, I'm going to hit things.
A fighter.
Just going to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Druid is probably... I'd say Druid and Ranger. Druid and Wizard are probably the most advanced classes to play. Just maybe Cleric too, but just because you have so many different things you can do.
So many spells.
I think Druid might be the most advanced.
Well, it's just because the beast shapes on top of that.
Yeah.
I have so many pages. My character sheet, so many.
So do you know, just off the top of your head, or do you have it handy, like up to what CR you can transform into now, as far as your beast shape?
I do. I think...
Oh, it's your level divided by 3? Is that right? Is that what it is?
Is it? Hold on. It's in here.
So that'd be CR2.
The problem with having so many beast shapes is
I think it's
so many pages. It's like it takes my computer a while to load when I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on.
Now you use a.
I can do CR2. I didn't even. Damn.
You use a Mac, right, Phoebe?
I do.
So I don't know, this may not work for you, but on PC, you can use the left and right arrows to go through pages, like a whole page.
Yeah,
Does that work?
Changed that actually.
Oh, okay.
To do that before it was a scroll and it didn't work, but this is better.
Yeah, that's the pain with that sheet being so long. Okay, so...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, CR2.
Oh my gosh, I can turn into so many things now.
Yeah, you really can.
I didn't even realize. I just thought it got magical strikes. I forgot about the CR. Oh, I can be a giant elk.
Yeah, I think it's your druid level divided by 3, I think is what it is. So yeah, now you're level 6, you can go up to 2.
I can be a cave bear. It's 90%.
Yeah, and all your attacks are magical now, which is pretty sweet.
Strength 20, multi-attack +7, 1d8 +5, 2d6 +5. This is cool. Cool.
Oh, that reminds me. I told you that I improved like your Firbolg invisibility. Yeah.
That was awesome.
So I think eventually it will be the same as this spell. Like the next time I upgrade it, it'll probably be the whole hour, which will be even cooler. But now you can do a minute, which is actually a long time. Like in a combat, that's forever.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
I don't know why I thought it was the whole spell. I guess because I've done it before and it's been like one round.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you've used that ability a whole lot. Maybe once
I've
or
only
twice.
used it like once.
Okay. Yeah.
Or twice maybe, because I haven't really had to.
Was that the only thing I increased, or?
I think
so.
Speech of Beast and Leaf
Oh,
got a
that's
little
right.
boost as well. I can
right.
actually sort of understand a little bit of what they say now, so it's not just a one-sided conversation.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And your staff stayed the same, because I think you already had everything for the staff.
Yeah,
so.
I think I think it's just as it is in the book now.
Yeah. So it will get better in the future, even more so. But cool. All right. So you are probably pretty tired after casting that 8-hour long spell, and things went pretty well as far as the spell goes. I don't know how Bryn feels about the whole fairies closer now thing, but I mean, your people are pretty comfortable with the Feywild, so probably
I think so.
probably isn't as big of a deal to Bryn as it is to some of the other people. Bryn's probably like, well, what's the big deal?
Maybe, but I also think that Bryn would also somewhat know that the Feywild can be very dangerous.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I imagine one of the reasons that...
I think she's a little worried about that.
Yeah, I imagine one of the reasons
humans can deal with this.
That your people weren't in the Feywild was because of the way it is, and there's always these nobles like claiming everything. And so your people found, hey, if we go into Primordia, we don't have to deal with the fairy nobles as much. We can do our own thing.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible. I always sort of saw them as like, this is our duty to protect, this piece of forest.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work. Like, maybe... I don't know, maybe, like, the gods were... I mean, we could have a total conversation about this. Like, maybe the gods were just like, hey, Firbolgs, go forth and protect the prime material.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Places of nature.
I like that.
But I imagine that would be, like, a really long time ago, and that would be just, like, sort of, like, lost to legend, almost.
Yeah, I like that. So when some of the gods who were originally Fae, like, left Fairy to become gods, maybe that's when that happened, and they brought the Firbolgs with them to protect the wilderness and the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, that would have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like maybe because their forests are special. Maybe they're a little bit Fey-touched, but not actually super Fey. I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, I like that. So, so Dianara was one of the gods that was originally from Fairy. So I think it totally makes sense when that happened that she personally like kind of brought the Firbolgs in the Primordia with her to like protect the forests and then that would explain why your people revere that particular god so much, because she's kind of the one that brought you here and kind of gave you this charge of protect this world now,
Yeah, and I think that also lends to why Firbolgs would maybe have a different way of worshiping Dianara than like other humanoids.
Yeah.
Like me and Quincy have been. I think I talked to Quincy about that one, so I was like, I don't get. You're all so about the hunt part.
Yeah. So maybe your people actually, like, your idea of her is you remember her from when she was still in Fairy.
I would imagine our lore would be a little more different. A little bit.
Yeah, like
obviously not like super crazy different, but
yeah, because at that point, like she didn't have any humans worshiping her, so you guys were way before these human upstarts that started worshiping her much later and kind of had their own ideas about what she was. That's cool. I like that. Cool. So you go to get some rest, and you're probably still a little tired from your ordeal in Fairy when you guys weren't able to get much sleep. And you as you go to sleep, you begin having a very vivid dream in which you start to dream you're standing under this giant tree that you've helped create, kind of admiring it, and as you're standing there, you feel this kind of urge come over you, and you just kind of go with it, and you find yourself shifting into the form of a mountain lion, the likes of which you've seen in this area before. And as soon as you're in this, like, great cat form, your scent is much enhanced, and you smell this kind of smell of wrongness, like on the breeze, like a smell of corruption and evil. And you take off after it, and you jog through the village. You don't see any people nearby. Seems everyone's inside sleeping. You easily kind of leap and climb over the wall in your panther form, and take off into the woods, heading south towards this swamp that you've heard about. And you seem to travel very quickly in this dream. And there's like a part of you that's like the Bryn who's awake that knows that this is a dream. And as you travel, you're following this weird smell, and it eventually leads you to a very twisted and evil-looking tree that you remember from a dream you had long ago. Yes. And this is definitely it. And you see, it looks like maybe it was originally. Actually, I guess you wouldn't recognize the type of tree. It's its own weird type of tree you've never seen before, but it has a very thick trunk, kind of like what an oak tree would. But it's a very twisted tree. Like the branches are all in these weird twisted shapes. And as you look closer at it, as you come up closer, you see what at first you assume to be like sap kind of running down the trunk. This dark, sticky liquid like running down the tree. Yeah. But as you get closer and you can smell it, it's actually blood. And it smells like very foul, almost like rotted blood that's kind of oozing out of this tree. And as you're standing there, you take your Firbolg form again, and you can just tell that this wasn't like a regular tree that was transformed by magic. This tree was created with evil magic from the very beginning. And all around it, there are these really bizarre looking like shrubs growing all around it. And as you kind of glance at these really bizarre shrubs, you see that they are almost in like humanoid shapes. And you realize that these are those things that you fought before, those weird evil plant people things, the blights. Mm. These are those that are kind of growing out of the ground and haven't animated yet. So, and they're just growing all around this tree. And you get the feeling that they're connected to this tree, and that this tree is causing these things to grow here.
Can I look? Is the tree, are any of the other plants around it sort of look like they're being infected?
Really, the only plants around it, other than some grass, are these weird shrub things, and they're like all around it. They almost look like they were planted. They're in like rings around the tree, almost like they were planted in a very specific pattern. And as you're kind of taking all this in, you suddenly, out of nowhere, appear even closer to the tree than you are. What appear to be three women, and they're kind of standing around a tree, kind of circling it. And they have like their arms up toward the sky, and they are chanting. And you don't recognize the language. You do recognize some of the words. Some of the words sound similar to words from Druidic that you know, but they're not exactly the same. And as you're listening to this, it kind of gives you the creeps, and you feel like this language might have once started as Druidic, and it's like a twisted version of Druidic. And they seem to be doing some kind of magical ritual, and as they're chanting, this evil twisted tree seems to get stronger, and you see more of these twisted shrubs start popping up out of the ground and start growing. And
oh my God.
the three women are they're all fairly different, but they're all wearing kind of old, tattered looking clothing, and they have all kinds of weird things on them, like skulls of animals and bones and feathers of animals and all kinds of strange talismans on them. But they all look, unlike something like what a Firbolg would wear, they all look kind of macabre, kind of twisted and evil, I guess, for lack of a better term. Definitely don't give you a good feeling.
It's like, I'm pretty sure badgers don't have 4 eyes.
So you're kind of watching this and you know, you're getting a feeling, you think, you're pretty sure that these are the witches that Petunia told you about and that you've heard about. And you now, even though you're not in the panther form anymore, you remember how the tree smelled when you were, and it did smell like death, like what Petunia told you. And you're kind of looking around, getting your bearings, and you have the thing with your background where you remember like features and stuff, right, of the landscape. Is that you, or is that
No, that's me.
Yeah, okay. Like you remember.
I just let him navigate. So he feels good. I have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and I can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So you actually remember, like, you know exactly where this tree is now. Like, you came here as a mountain lion, and you remember how you got here and the route. So you're confident you could easily find this spot again. And as you're kind of looking around, just getting your bearings, remembering some landmarks, you see one of these old women suddenly turns and looks right at you. And up to this point, they seem not to realize you were there. But you get this like feeling of, oh shit, as she looks right at you, and you realize that she can see you. And the next thing you know, you're sitting up in your bed, like you just woke up from a bad dream.
Oh my God. Oh no. 3 of them?
Yeah.
I have to, what time is it?
It's like the middle of the night. It's still dark out.
Oh wow.
So yeah, you saw the tree and you're pretty confident you know where it is and you can find it.
Everyone else is sleeping?
Yeah, probably at this point, as far as you know.
All right. I want to run out to Anna's tree.
Okay. You're probably the only one out.
Yeah.
You see some guards like guarding the wall, but other than that, you don't really see anyone awake. And you run over to the tree.
I'm not really sure what to do here, so I just sort of knock on the bark. Anna, are you awake?
A moment later, Anna like steps out of the tree. Yes, my dear. What is it?
So, you seem to know. Would you say you know a lot about trees?
Oh, a bit. I definitely know a lot about this particular tree. What would you like to know?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to like say that all tree people know each other just because you live in a tree or anything, but I've been having dreams about a blighted tree deep to the south. I think I was sent a vision by my goddess. I saw 3 women, 3 wishes. I think they were speaking some corrupted form of Druidic. I couldn't understand it, but they looked like they were making the blight on the tree stronger, and it was spreading. Would you know anything about that? Like, who could they be? Do you know of any sort of magic that does that?
She thinks. I've definitely heard of dark magics that can create evil creatures out of plants.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it was almost like an incubation ground for these twisted tree men. We fought them before. There were so many of them. So many. What sort of... Do you know anything? What kind of... Who would do that sort of magic? Who knows that sort of magic?
She says, yeah, that is a very specific kind of magic. I suppose perhaps some druid that maybe got pulled into darkness might do such a thing. There are also a type of fae known as hags. They have very powerful and ancient magic. It sounds like the kind of thing they'd get into. They love tormenting and twisting things into evil. Yes, they're a type of fae. They're very powerful, very dangerous.
I've only heard bedtime stories about them. My mom would say a hag would come eat me if I didn't clean my room, but what are they like? What do they look like?
Well, they can take different forms.
Oh.
Their true appearance, they look like ugly old women. What most of us would see as beautiful, they see as ugly, and what most of us see as ugly, they see as beautiful. They are against the nobility of the Fae. They're really against everything except themselves. They're very selfish and evil. They don't even get along with one another most of the time.
Well, that's strange because there were 3 of them.
Well, it's said that at times they will work together in groups of 3 to do something truly diabolical.
That's comforting. Oh man.
They're very ancient. Very dangerous. If there are any near here, you should be careful. I doubt they will come near this tree.
I hope so. You think that you could keep the village safe?
Well, I don't know for sure, but entities like that normally don't like being around trees like these. They make them very uncomfortable. I doubt they would come near it unless they had a really good reason. Perhaps when the tree is older and stronger, it might be able to keep them away entirely.
So you're saying, as it is right now, it probably couldn't keep them away entirely.
She says, I don't know. From what I've heard, every of these hags is very different. Some of them are more powerful than others. I will definitely do what I can to help the tree grow stronger, faster. I might be able to strengthen it to make it less likely that they will come near here.
Is there anything I could do to help? I mean, I do have to sleep tonight, so I don't know if I could give you another spell. Plus, the land is pretty enriched as it is, so I don't know. They've got to be hags, right? There's no way a druid would do this. Not any druids I would know.
She says they sound like hags from the way you describe them, but I don't know for sure.
Seems like a pretty safe bet. I wonder what they're doing with the sacrifices.
Well, if they are hags, they could be doing anything with them.
Ugh. Well...
She says if you can use the magic that you used before again sometime in the future, I'm sure that will greatly help. You were able to do more in a few hours than I could do in weeks on my own. It was very impressive.
Oh, thank you. It's, yeah, it's an old thing my people used to do. Made the, forest more bountiful, you know?
Yeah, and you notice now, you see changes in the village even in this short time. All the grass is longer, all the plants and crops being grown in the gardens within the village are noticeably bigger than they were a few hours ago.
Someone just doused the whole place in Miracle Grow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, well, thanks, Anna. Thank you.
Yes, I'm happy to help, and if I sense any hags nearby, I'll definitely let you know.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Before I let you get back to sleep. You said you knew my people, or had seen my people.
Yes, I have.
I assume that was eons ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago. I have a hard time. Telling the passage of time. I can't say how long ago it was, but it was before I was a dryad.
Well, we always had legends saying that we'd come from fairy. It's interesting to see that they were true.
Yes. As far as I know, I heard tales of the Firbolg in fairy. From what I know, they keep to themselves mostly and tend to stay in the most wild and untamed places.
Yep, that was us.
I imagine they're out there somewhere.
Us. Oh gosh, I hope so. I don't know. I haven't found a single Firbolg in Elandria. I even walk around undisguised, like thinking, hey, maybe if one is disguised, they'll see me and pop out, but nope.
She says, well, don't lose hope. Sometimes hope is all we have.
Thanks, Anna. You're a good listener.
She says, I hope to see my Willem someday, even though odds probably aren't likely. But yeah, what else can we do?
Maybe he's still out there. Maybe he's just, a little older. You like older men?
Oh, I don't mind them.
There you go.
She says,
I'm sure we'll figure out what happened to him at least. I think the guild keeps pretty good records.
She says, I have something for you. And she reaches up to the tree and she pulls a good-sized acorn from it and hands it to you. She says, you can use this to contact me if you ever need to speak with me. And it's basically a sending stone that you can use to talk to Anna.
Sending acorn.
You're starting a collection of them. Yes, a sending acorn. That's right.
I'm gonna be like that businessman that has like 6 phones. Thanks very much. We'll let you know. I'll let you know as soon as we get any word. I mean, we'll probably go back to the city if we get through this whole witch thing. So maybe we'll find more information there.
I hope you do. And good luck with the witch.
Yeah, we are probably going to need it.
She says, "Oh, I'm sure you and your friends will be more than a match for a witch, even if she is a hag."
Thanks, Anna. Oh man, we are gonna have one heck of a talk tomorrow, my friends and I.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to strategize and oh gosh, oh man. Well, thanks.
She says, "Good luck to you."
After that, I will stop by the temple and just light some incense and send a quick prayer of thanks to Dianara for my dream.
Okay. All right, you do that. You pretty much have the place to yourself. The priest seems to be in bed, snoozing away.
So yeah, I guess I'll go to bed after that because I can't really think of anything else I would or could do.
Cool. Well, that's basically what I had for you was that little dream. So
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll be able, if or when you want to, you'll be able to find that tree no problem, thanks to your kind of photographic memory when it comes to the landscape.
All right.
Yeah. And you got to be a mountain lion. I don't think you've done that before. That's why I was asking.
Is that a reskinned lion or a reskinned panther?
Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've been a panther before.
Yeah.
Because it's a 1/4 challenge rating, and if I'm fighting, I usually try to go for something a little more beefy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's cool. Oh my gosh. There's going to be so many. All right.
Yeah, it'll be fun when you guys compare notes because everybody got little tidbits.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I hope so because I love Lerissa so much. She's such a great character.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a great job with her. It's so hilarious. But everybody's character is super cool. I can't believe it. Like,
yeah,
such
I
an
love
interesting
everybody.
group. Yeah.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah.
A very literal paladin.
Yep. Yeah.
A nerdy brewer.
Yeah, everybody's got a really interesting character. So.
And now I'm enjoying Marco too. Marcos? Is it Marco or Marcos?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're all confused about that. I'm gonna have to ask Jaime, which is it?